withdrawal from tournaments is a big issue with UTR tournaments, especially parents protecting or players and parents trying to protect their ranking, and withdrawing from consolation is a really big issue in today's tournament world. So this is another negative where kids are ducking. Lots of kids and their parents sometimes are ducking matches and ducking out of tournaments. And I think there's got to be a way that UTR and ITF and WTN can solve that. Like there should be either maybe on the disincentive side or an incentive side to try to get kids to stop doing it. That's probably the biggest concern I have with the way the tournaments are structured right now. I hear from many of my own parents, and I think it's really well known anecdotally that's going on. Tournament directors will all. So that I would like to see that solved somehow. Whether there needs to be a penalty. Or some of the draws, maybe I was thinking the entries maybe could be blinded. We have a junior tournament tour here that my buddy runs, and he won't let the parents see who's in it because it's a UTR run event.
I was going to say UTR platform allows you to do that.
He blinds all of the parents until the draw's out, and he said he couldn't run the tournaments because there were so many withdrawals and he couldn't take it anymore with all the parents calling him and asking who's in the draw, like who signed up, what's their level. And he couldn't run his events anymore. So
not only that, people wait until the very last second to sign up because they want to see who else is playing. And either you commit to play or you don't. I mean, it's not rocket science.
That's my old school philosophy too. You know, sign up to play, go play. When I was a kid, I didn't know who was in the tournament until I showed up to the parking lot and I said, "Ooh, oh, so and so is here, nice," you know, or whatever. I didn't know. I kind of wish we could get back to that somehow. The only way would be to somehow block the being able to see who's at the events, and that might be an option. But I think there should be a penalty if for a certain number of withdrawals per year, or there should be something. There's the idea of having more to encourage people to stay in consolation, having more playoff spots, like not just the top 3 or 4, like having a 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th place playoffs at tournament. There's got to be some incentives and disincentives that we can do. UTR should be able to do it. They've innovated in so many other ways. They know this is a problem. I think also retirements are a problem.
Yes.
In UTR, you can retire. If nobody wins 4 games, you can retire and it will not affect your UTR rating. And with WTN, you can retire problematically up until the first set is won. So if nobody wins a set, you can retire. At the way the algorithm is now, you will not be penalized. You will not.
I didn't realize that.
That's the way they can adjust these algorithms. They're not set in stone, so they're constantly adapting the algorithms to make them better for play. And I just think that's the real issue. If you can retire, so if you're, for whatever reason, you don't want to continue the match, you're tired, or you're not feeling good, or it's not going the way you want, you can basically retire with no penalty. I think that's a problem. And then a lot of kids skip the consolation, which is a real disaster. The kids should stay and play the consolation. It's a huge problem.
Well, my point of view is if you've paid to enter the tournament and God forbid paid to travel to the tournament, why wouldn't you want to play as many matches as are presented to you? Every kid should be playing every day of the event, whether they've won in the main draw or lost in the main draw.
Of course, I agree with you. But most parents and kids, they don't see it that way. The first thing they're going to ask is they're going to check what's the kid's UTR. And if it's lower, they're heading for the airport,
Right. Well, and USTA has an issue with that in their points per round ranking system, where the consolation matches don't help a kid's ranking, and so because there's so few points awarded for winning those matches.
It's not an incentive to play.
And my hope was when UTR came out. UTR doesn't care where you are in the draw. They just care how you've done in that particular match. It doesn't matter if it's main draw, back draw. It doesn't matter if it's the final or first round. It's just how did you do in that match? And so my hope was that was going to re-incentivize these kids to stick around and play. But then, of course, it's what you're saying now. They're looking at the opponent's UTR and, it can't help me. And in fact, if I lose this match, it's going to hurt my UTR. Therefore, I'm not going to play.
I think that type of crazy making, and we know there's lots of parents and families thinking that way. It's just crazy making. Just stop. Just try not to be like that. Try not to think like that. Just
Yeah.
try to look at it in a healthy way. We're here, we want to get matches, we want to improve our kids' development. It's not just about the number. It's exactly like you say. I think UTR could fix that. I think they have so many smart people over there. They should be able to fix that problem. That's just one glaring problem.
Mhm.
Everybody knows it. They should fix it. They can set up the algorithm in a way. They can set up the disincentives or incentives in a way that they could solve that. I think that's a solvable problem.
Yeah. Agreed.